Everybody see my email from, I think it was yesterday, and I did already have yours in, but thank you.
Making sure in
Yep,
case.
and already had yours in, so thank you. Oh,
I'm
sorry. Okay, so I just sent an email out that said, for the meeting today, what we're going to do, we went over 11. We had 20 planks that we were considering. We went over 11 last time. We have 9 left to go. But everybody's known what those were for a couple of months, and I think most people really kind of already know what they like and what they don't. So do you guys want to laboriously go through the other 9, or do you just want to vote for our top 10? So
I was gonna say, I make a motion to just go for it.
I don't need a motion. I'm just, yep. Dale, do you have any?
I was going to say that.
Same
if
thing.
has questions, then
Okay.
if someone does have an objection, then, we'll.
Okay. Well, let's just do that. You've already voted. I've already voted. So I'm just going to pass out these. You guys fill out your top ones. This is just the form for voting. And that will go to Ken. You voted you, Dale.
Yes, sir.
You. So there's 2 sections. So the bottom section is only we have to revote. So if you don't come up with any data, so just list out the ones that you want. You should have, I told Artie I'll have a list of the 20 planks that
You have my computer got it.
I don't have a copy of that. I have a copy of this. So.
Is it, did you send us an email?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had it, but I can't find it.
You said yesterday.
If I have a copy in
I was
here.
out.
Okay.
I can't.
Got it. Top 10.
You
Yeah,
tell me
top
you're
10.
12, you're 10 blanks, I'll run in.
So hold on, let me pull up my thing.
I've actually blocked that already from my.
Oh, you did? You blocked that?
You blocked me?
No, I'm being silly. Hey, what happened to the wing there?
All my stuff goes to spam for you now.
You got a bad wing?
I had surgery.
Tommy John surgery? Do you have Tommy John?
No, I had rotator cuff and a bunch of other stuff that was wrong with me.
I meant to call you and ask you how you were doing, and I completely forgot, I'm sorry.
So you can't throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Never could.
I never could.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to say, I can't anymore, but I used to be able to. Nobody would know you were lying.
There's my, hold on. Okay, I'm going to read the plank numbers out, so if you don't know what they are, you can look. So plank number 15, this is the 20 that we have on our list, and you have to pick 10 out of these. Plank 15, plank 30, 56, 78, 111, 137, 138, 142, 144, 146, 172, 204, 214, 226, 250, 256, 259, 266, 271, and 274. Those are the 20 you get to choose from. Just random. Surely you have your platform with you.
The very first one, 15, did we already have that? Did, have it already cleared the nation?
Happened it.
Oh, you're asking if it's already been achieved.
Yeah.
Right, could be a move.
Those are the sort of things that we were discussing
Right.
that we're deciding not to discuss. So yeah, it does, there is that. He has declared an invasion. So that's an argument for not putting it on the list, and it's also an argument for taking it out when we get to convention. So something else we'll talk about a little bit. I'm going to pull up my.
But that was one of my, you haven't achieved.
So that first one we can eliminate.
Or you can put it on your list. But it's achieved, so.
Up to y'all. It's on the list, so you can vote for it or not vote for it. It's up to you.
We are moving from a ban COVID vaccines right now. We are moving into informed consent medical freedom, where you have the right to say yes or no, so we're expanding it. So we still need to work on medical freedom. Yeah. We had a significant victory. It wasn't as comprehensive as we wanted, and it really only affects COVID vaccines. But we'll take it, thank you very much, and we'll continue to work
Hey,
toward
Gail, I'm trying to pull up the platform so you can look at it.
on medical freedom, not just vaccines.
You're so kind to me. I was so borrow her list because she's got a friend. I think I can do it pretty quickly. But no longer.
Right. Okay, here we go. You ready?
I'm just gonna use it.
Okay. Shit up there.
Thank you for pampering me. Very grateful.
That's the button. So it's touched too. So you can.
Okay.
And then if you want, oh, let's see, let me show you something else.
This is what it looks like from the committee chair position.
That is. Why is my mouse not?
Can you put it up, do you have the ability to put it on the screen, Matt?
No.
You want me to read them to you?
I
Well,
Well, nobody would memorize them. You want me to give a.
I can give you the titles.
Yeah.
If I can,
titles would help.
if I can get my sheet. Where's my? Make it work. Why is it not?
I bet, you want me to go see if Wasilla can come hook this up to the screen?
If you want to.
I can give you this.
It's okay. Hold on. So there's the titles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can just look at it.
You can probably look at
So
that.
that platform is so big, it's just, there's no way.
So I can read the titles if anybody wants.
She's gonna go with where it's changed to Wasilla, see if you can come hook your computer up to the screen so we can see it.
You what? Can you do it?
I think there's a
But an
20-year-old kid
HDMI.
on the hallway.
I think to fix the screen, we have to move.
Yeah.
One at a time.
I need to move.
Well, I think they need the projector to be right about where you are.
Okay.
Let's just slide it.
Sorry.
Slide it.
I'm gonna go back to this. Actually,
Is what's on your screen right now what you want displayed?
Difference again between medical freedom and testing.
I'm looking up there.
Last time.
Yeah, that's the platform, so I have to look.
Okay. Then if you have HDMI,
Medical freedom.
It's probably on that
A
side.
moment ago, you said Texas Medical Practice Act.
The Texas Medical Practice Act was one of them. Let me pull it up.
There we go, guys. There's the platform.
Yeah, but I've got control of the scroll.
Blow it up just a skosh there.
You want to look at?
2022 platform, right?
Yep, that's what's on the screen.
Okay. So as far as making it perfectly fit the screen, I don't know how to do, but what I can do is make this be bigger. Okay.
Should be able to.
Yeah, I didn't know it was touchscreen. There you go.
We got the best.
I can do that one.
Hey,
Here's a look. Let me wiggle it around and make it a little easier.
Yeah, Becky, plug it in that one thing. You don't like it.
What?
Oh, yeah, all she had to do was plug it in.
I knew
you're
that,
one-handed, we gotta
but
get
I didn't know what she had to plug in where.
More than that, I did have to figure out how to turn the fan on.
Maybe
My problem is it comes up and you have to like go find some files.
I just said, we need like,
Listen.
one new person in here, those.
I have people that do that. It's just like writing resolutions
I knew it, I knew you had that.
in our executive meeting. I said that, I didn't pay resolutions, I see you present and write a lot.
Yeah.
So I just buddy, his name is Ken Moore.
Ah.
Oh, I've heard about him.
And our executive committee meetings, I'm like, yeah. He's like, I mean, if we have to amend something, if you want me to shut up and sit down, you want Ken to come up.
Yeah, that guy can, he can write this.
Well,
Right.
so
He's a doozy.
I
He's a-
learned who my people are, and there's things I just don't attempt to do. I just don't, because it's just going,
Leadership's all about
Delegating.
the right talent in the right place.
No, I'm not.
So that they can shine like a diamond,
Yes.
like Ken.
well, he'll see me struggling, and he'll just get up and come up like, let me help you.
It goes so much faster.
So the best where you see me, so he made, you know, sent that tweet is Galen, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yep.
Ken Lucy.
Yeah, we all have our skills,
We do.
And our limitations.
So when you're ready,
right?
to put everything on, just pull out the blue cable.
Don't need one wrong for that. Ooh, that's fun, Chris.
Guy was at the interview and said, what's your weaknesses? He said, one of my weaknesses, I'm very honest. The boss said, I don't think honesty is a weakness. What do you know, you idiot? I told you mine's a weakness.
Well, this has been a goodie.
That's good.
Mine was, I don't give a, what your opinion is.
Yeah. Well, I did clean it up for the guy last night was talking about propane and butane, and I said, well, I understand that water is heavier than butane, because butane is a lighter fluid.
Dad jokes. Love them.
Still a good one.
It's a lighter fluid.
Did you finish your work yet?
I'm on 7,
Okay.
so I've got 3 left, and I am diligently working on
No,
it.
no more jokes until you finish with us.
Dale, I'm researching the question you asked me, but I'm still struggling to find it.
I'll take them. Can you hear that?
I only have.
If you're missing a couple, I can tell you what your last two should be.
What are the last 2?
That was Texas Medical Practice
Which is
Act
the last
versus
two?
medical
The
quit.
last two should be
What was our deal with that?
Texas Health Savings
On
Accounts
one of them,
and
the
pensions.
nurses have been thrown into that one.
That should be your last
And I think that was our,
Okay.
that we revised. I don't know if it was the Freedom or the Practice Act.
I thought the Practice Act said doctors should not be penalized.
Okay, you really
Or
have one
punished
entry
for
for not actually having.
What's that?
too.
Expired drugs for off-label uses, yada,
Exactly.
yada.
I think I did this pretty quick.
Here you go, Matthew.
Medical freedom is 137.
See, did I pass?
138
And it's called
is
No,
medical
yet.
practice.
pension
Texas.
But they're
performance.
Government pensions.
Numbers on this one.
153.
My husband's is starting at the end of next month.
152 is 137. This confuses me so much.
So,
Let's help the human services.
I may not be prepared, but I can make the decision.
So we need,
Because I can't read anything off the screen.
This is not our native language.
What?
This is not our technology is not our native language. We struggle with it. Not our grandchildren.
I'm gonna give you this next one.
Grandchildren. This is our
If it's not paper, I have trouble with it. All right, here they are back. Here's medical freedom. And I think, this was. You're probably going, what she think
Right.
I have good reasons for everything. Under the delegation agreement with the position.
And we were saying that nurse practitioners do need supervision, sometimes they should not be at the same level as a medical.
Yeah. So that was under the medical freedom. And then medical practice.
So, we see Jim out there just a second ago with council.
So this is more on the administrative,
That's what it was about.
restrictions.
Pepperoni fans come.
And this is, well, I'm sorry, it's the way I see
I think it is.
It's more, but
I don't want it, so I
That's pretty good.
I wasn't the one that did it to you.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, no, we're just chatting about the big pepperoni fiasco in 2024.
So,
Somebody with kids were bad.
Uproar. Oh, yeah. Dude, I told everyone, you got the story all wrong. It's watermelon. You know, we're sitting here to the moon tracker show. Yeah, I see all this stuff. Yeah. It's like 30 comments. I don't even know. When I look at the flyers. What I'm telling people is they get a
all right, so then the difference is the Medical Freedom Act is really more about individuals' rights on their own healthcare decisions. There's one issue we have with this, and that's in J. It is sort of a federal way for what I call secondary practitioners, nurse practitioners, physicians, assistants, that sort of thing, to operate independently and not under the supervision of a medical doctor. That is problematic in that they don't have the same level of education. And so allowing them to operate without any sort of oversight from a medical doctor, we kind of have a bit of an issue with that. And I feel like that's tucked in there. It maybe can really belong in the patient's rights category.
I was wondering about
I'm in
that.
total agreement with that.
And so, that was almost took in there maybe by special interest group. And so then the Medical Practice Act is more about regulatory control over doctors. And it's about, it does protect patient rights because if the patient's with a chiropractor or, a natural physician, that offers natural remedies or a homeopathic or whatever, that should be the patient's right, okay? And then it goes on and it talks about, compliance against physicians, doctors should have the right to have us heard in the district court rather than by the Texas Medical Board. And it talks about the Texas Medical Board and the Texas State Board of Pharmacy having their appointed boards that make up rules to justify their own existence. Okay, I mean, they make up rules for you to follow. And And then they fine you when you don't follow them, and that pays their salaries.
Like
to
OSHA.
make that more money. Yeah, I mean, it's what it is. It's like a self-sustaining regulatory board, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so,
Control of, in the legal field.
oh yeah, I mean, it's all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, and also I tell people with government, every entity, the lion wants more zebra, humans want more. Our DNA is wired, and then it includes government. You know, in our country, we got everybody. Sometimes it's often the zebra. Just don't be the slowest zebra. Not faster than the slowest zebra.
You're faster.
Oh my goodness.
But,
So,
in CPS, what they were saying now.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I wasn't at the one.
They said they have one manager, like, pretty much.
it's long, it's
That's the crook. The straight is not mine doing
The
it.
goal is not for 5.
Yeah, it's gotten longer. It's gotten longer.
Maybe 3. Right now, like, why are you
See, my
hearing
hair.
the conversations
Oh,
to grow our ages? We're gonna have,
really?
we're gonna have,
No, see, back
you
in
know,
the day, I
more
used to be able to
strength
sit on
in
it.
our economy. We have to have more files.
When I so I actually donated it a couple
I just saw
times.
that mentality.
3 times now.
Grow. Make
But
up
I'm not gonna let it grow that far again, I don't think. I'm gonna look for a
I'm
corona.
gonna say, I'm getting ready to go to the.
Well, I just cut mine almost to the scalp.
Session. Because my family's been.
And now I'm just
doing
thinking,
it
I'm
twice
gonna roll
already.
it for one more time, and this time I'm gonna just.
So that's
Just
low.
gonna grow.
Well, I'm
I've
a big,
never, ever.
I was at CPS, maybe I got bad apples in CPS.
With
We had a kid right now,
Uh-huh.
17 and a half, they dropped him off last Thursday.
What's the
night,
dog
or someplace
last
at
night?
9 o'clock at night.
Yes, yes. And,
Of course, we're having.
and I need to show you what we just created in the conventions for the exhibit G for all, them all to submit
So just
to the platform committee.
My committee.
Yes,
No
when-
illegals, no fault of their own.
So you know.
12, 10
No,
years
I
old
just
people.
came through,
And
I
I
did
probably
this.
said, we had some money years ago.
The just grow it out
I did
phase.
the Therapeutic philosophy.
Uh-huh.
We stole our own lives. So we said, you can stop stealing. Well, the next time CPS came, he said, we interviewed the girls, they said, you accused them of stealing. They said, we didn't accuse them, they admitted it. All the baggage they had and already the luggage they're carrying. Do you want to really make them feel bad and tell them stealing's wrong? That was CPS. I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah, it's a mentality. It's a mentality.
You know, don't tell them that stealing's wrong.
Okay, that'll make them feel
It'll make
bad.
them feel bad. And this was 20 years ago. I'm not kidding, that was 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Right?
We still live in the woodlands.
Have no.
Never had them type that in.
Her name was Karen Deaton. And I said, she was, I don't really think the kids.
Is it a resolution?
I said,
No, I'm just keeping score. That's all I'm doing.
all bad.
And I think I'm saying,
I can see where someone would say that's a
she
crime.
voted, she voted well.
Yeah, and that, I know too. So I can see someone-
What were we voting on?
Really, you put that,
Our top 10,
and these are the head.
Top 10 what?
People say,
blanks,
Our favorite 10? Out of all of them?
well, we had gotten it down to 19 or 20 or something like that. 20.
Favorite?
And we had to go down to 10 today.
Favorite plank? Like
Anybody
untouchables?
can say anything.
Untouchables or what? Or that we're gonna get rid of?
Guilty till proven
These are the
innocent.
ones that this platform advocacy committee are going to advocate. So it's almost like
Oh.
Yeah,
legislative
we can't do the
priorities.
whole thing, so.
These are going to be the ones, so basically we turned into legislative priorities, but legislative priorities is.
Alternate priorities.
Legislative priorities is the whim of the moment of the whole of the delegation, whereas
Right.
we're supposed to be looking more strategic stuff that will have long-term benefits, which for Republicans or for general populations. So
And then we can scratch them off the platform when we accomplish them.
that would be the hope. And some of them on our list are actually.
Is that on? We're live streamed. You cannot be if you don't want Good thing I wasn't cussing like a sailor this
You
time.
said that, and I'm looking, I'm going, it's looking at me. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, but this is not must-see TV. This is not the most fascinating committee happening right now.
What's in your bag?
This is my tripod, because I didn't think there were enough in the room.
Oh, you just bring spares.
No,
And it's
I'll bet they're asleep at their desk.
And then the.
A little more lively than resolution.
Really?
I'm so glad I didn't have to go sitting there. I'm glad we had another committee.
If I were accused of crime, okay, and I had a choice.
So I'm just so excited about the resolution builder form.
Or to fire my case and I lose the first case against the jail. What resolution? But, we don't have to take that risk. Are you willing to take that risk? Start dropping things.
They consider what they want. I'll deal with it when we get there. Okay.
God knows clear, God knows through supervision. Are you gonna do that? Or are you gonna say, do whatever you want?
Right.
You want a drug test, you want to come, I'll step in the restroom and give you a sample. You want to look at my affairs, my right from my house, go ahead and do that, just don't take my kids. And parents that don't know what their rights are, they don't know where to stand. And there are enough dumb judges out there that you can do the cat, and it's all ground, but you're still scared to act. It's,
Well, I was talking to someone on our side, so we had said, I'm afraid of the light. And then you don't understand that.
yeah.
You know, and on the kids, I think that's a different issue. This group of just enough. What a big signal is with a bunch of people. And I think I should be more simple. They might say something. I said, you don't make it simple. You know, like, private citizens, that should be simple. You don't think you're on a single channel? Well, I was thinking, you usually get down there and say, you're going to say, how much support you going to get votes?
Right.
Because you're going to work with the legislature for your votes.
You're going to get glances on that.
You want to get anything that, okay, you're a little bad. You don't understand what we're doing. I told them once, I can't support you. If you're afraid of the legislature, we're going to be your candidates. You're going to get some votes.
I understand strategic placement,
But you think they can?
but not clear about the left. There's a difference. If you're,
Well, that was her comment, was what was it?
right, that's not good. Now, if they are,
Air conditioning
timing is
system,
everything,
you're buying air
yeah,
conditioning.
yeah, and you're, you know, avoiding the appearance of evil or whatever. I get that, but the fear of retribution from the left, no, you cannot, you have to be careful.
Okay, we've got 15 planks that made the top 10, even though we were supposed to have 10, because we've got a tie at 3. We've got the following planks in order. The most popular plank is founding documents in high school with 7 votes. Where's my little thing? Founding documents in high school is the most popular with 7 votes. The next one is prosecute election fraud with 6 votes. Parental rights with 5 votes. Then we have a tie at 4 votes for Midland, not Moscow. Welfare reform at the state level. Border security funding, sanctuary cities, and trade with China. That didn't make top 10, so we went to the next the other planks that had 3 votes, which are medical freedom, right to try, Texas Health Savings Account, religious freedom for businesses, eliminate illegal magnets, and Israel. So, we need to
That was our vote in here.
Yep, that was our vote in here.
Ken hasn't voted yet.
Ken?
You can skew the all the results. Right there. Whoa, so there you go. Whoever thought that
Ken?
one vote counts.
I'm not sharing the benefits of my wisdom.
Lay it on us.
The voting is closed. Ken, you'll get to vote in the second round. Okay, so we're going to revote. That's why you got your worksheets. So if you'll pass these back out to everybody. You got? No, we're picking the top 10.
Can I make a play?
I did.
I have the girl.
Yes.
That's
correct.
I'm gonna just talk for a second about the medical freedom issue. We have a false sense of, we got our vaccine mandate stuff kind of taken care of, and we did to some degree. But folks, medical freedom is far from being won, and it's something that affects all of us. And when it comes down to the left's multi-pronged attack against our freedoms, that's going to be one of the first places they hit us, is with insurance, with medical care. I'm seeing it already. I'm seeing it already. Medicare denying benefits to people that need surgeries and whatever. And we have got to come in and I mean, with all that's going on at the border, there's so many things that are so important. But a whole bunch of the things that you read off that came in, like the 3 votes each, were the Texas Medical Practice Act, medical freedom, all these things. This is a blind spot that we've got because we think we've gotten victory on that. We haven't. So I just want to encourage everybody to consider putting that in their top 10 because it affects all of us. It affects our children, our grandchildren, our parents. It's going to affect us when we get on Medicare if we're not already. It's a big, big deal.
What's your top?
Okay.
One, because I don't know that I can take 30% of my 10 votes
I
on
would
that.
say the Texas medical, I would say medical freedom. What would you say, Melinda? What's your favorite?
So before we go there, I'm going to also stump for a plank. If you want medical freedom, freedom, then we need to get Texas out of the federal Medicaid program so that we can decide for ourselves what's covered, what isn't. So if you want medical freedom, you should look at Texas Health Savings Account, which also got 3 votes, because that's how we're really going to break free. Because what you're talking about is there are regulations being imposed on us from the feds. Well, the way they do it is by controlling the Medicaid system and determining what we cover, what we can't, and basically writing the rules for us. So if you really want medical freedom, get us out of the federal Medicaid system. So Texas Health Savings Account, Plank 144, is how to get medical freedom. Dale.
Is that health savings account, is like a medical savings account where you can deduct it from your taxes like an IRA?
No, this is where we're encouraging the state to create their own health savings account, basically by taking funds that come in. We had a $35 billion surplus this year, right? Well, if we would have taken that $35 billion surplus and set it aside, kind of like you've got your general revenue and then you've got your rainy day fund, if we had another fund called the Texas Health Savings Account, we'd put that whole $35 billion in there, then we could use that to transition from a federal run Medicaid program to a state-run Medicaid program where we write the rules about who's covered, eligibility, et cetera, et cetera. So what we're
Pay the U.S. government to do it. I mean,
Yeah, we'd be out of the Medicaid program at the federal level. And that's one of the big problems we have is that that's how they control us, is they create national programs with rules. And in Medicaid sense, they say, well, you'll put in 50% of the money and we'll put in 50% of the money. So it's a great deal for you economically, but they have 100% control of the rules and what gets covered. So it's actually a bad deal for us because we're paying for other people to tell us what to do and how to run our program. So let's get out of that.
We're giving them their 50% for their program.
Exactly what's that. So we're looking at it the wrong way around. We're giving them 50% so they can tell us what to do. So we're going to do what we want to do and we'll pay the whole cost. So we need to create a savings account so that we can cover that 50% that we're going to lose for a short transition period, maybe 2 years, 3 years, we transition. And then the savings that we'll generate by writing our own rules will exceed the amount of the 50% contribution that we would have gotten from the federal government.
Yeah, potentially with savings as well as.
So it's going to take a couple of years for us to make that transition and exit the program. And that's what the Texas Health Savings Account will do is give us the budget flexibility to cover the Fed matching side of the program for Medicaid. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Okay?
But we have to address this whole medical freedom thing.
Well, you're true, yeah.
But at some point, we all have to, we can't, and it's so hard because there's so much stuff
Yeah.
that we need to do. Like vaccine mandates didn't make legislative priorities this year. That they did.
Right.
And we had to form a separate committee and attack it on our own because we weren't LPs. And Jill was helping because she thought it should have been, but people are so overwhelmed with what they see on the news, and this is kind of taking a back burner because we kind of put a Band-Aid on that and said, you
Yeah.
can't do that, Texas quit, and the COVID crisis momentarily.
Yeah.
Is kind of.
And we can't get the ledge to focus on this because they're like, oh, well, we'll lose free money that we're getting. You know, I got rid of my rep in Dallas because he wanted to expand Medicaid. Remember when that was a big thing about 8 years ago? He was like, oh, we'll get all this free money. We need to expand Medicaid. And I'm like, no, you're fired. So that's why I got rid of him.
What are the 5 that didn't make it again?
So the 5 that did not make
The ones
it,
that are tied right now,
the 5 that did not make it are 15, invasion. Sadly, 78, government pensions. 138, Texas Medical Practice Act. 214, adoption. And then 274, United Nations. Those are off the list.
Okay, so what was
So we're going to revote between else.
after 138?
After Texas Medical Practice, the next one was 214, which is adoption.
Okay.
And then 274, which was United Nations.
Did 137 was medical freedom, right?
That had 3, so it made it. So that's going to be on the list where we revote.
Okay. But Texas medical practice is what you're stumping for because really it supports 137 and we're not going to get.
I'm not stumping for Texas Medical Practice.
Oh,
Texas Medical Practice is off the list.
which one were you stumping for?
I was stumping for 144, Texas Health Savings Account.
And it didn't make the list either?
It did make the list because it also had 3 votes.
Okay.
Matt, can you read the ones that are tied? Because those are the ones we really need to choose.
Yeah. So the ones with 4 votes are as follows. 56, which is Midland, not Moscow. Okay. 146, which is welfare reform, state level.
146?
146. The next one with 4 votes is 256, which is border security funding. Then 259, sanctuary cities. And then 266, trade with China. All of those had 4 votes.
Israel didn't make it.
Okay? The ones with 3 votes are as follows. Y'all ready? 3 votes was medical freedom, which is 137, medical freedom. 142, right to try. 144, Texas Health Savings Account. 204, religious freedom for business. And didn't we get that one passed in special session?
It was mass mandates, I think.
Well, during general session, Representative Massoud slid through, well, we don't know how this got through, but he slid through a bill that basically said if you are a employer who chooses not to mandate to your employees that they have to wear a mask and do, any of these things, it wasn't just vaccines, you choose not to mandate to your employees, then you cannot be sued for that.
So we did get that one through.
So we did get that through, but I wouldn't call that religious freedom as
It's
much
true.
as the freedom.
Medical freedom.
Employee freedom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 204, religious freedom business, had 3 votes. 250, eliminate illegal magnets. And then 271, Israel. And those are all the ones that had 3 votes.
And so they're out.
Those are in. Those are still
all
for
in with
considering.
their votes.
Yep.
And we've got to, what do we got to do here? We've got to only have,
So we're basically said we're going to have 10. So we're going to revote on these 15. Pick your top 10 again. And I'll rescore everything. And we'll keep going until we only have 10. Yes, Dale.
Could you give the top 5 again, that are, or whatever number did make it?
Yeah, so Well, the top 5, the ones that did not make it?
No, which ones did make, which ones are we kind of?
Okay, so the highest vote getter,
There we go.
the highest vote getter was 111, founding documents in high school. It had 7 votes.
Wow.
Okay? The next highest was 226, prosecute election fraud. That had 6 votes. After that, 30, parental rights, had 5 votes. And 172, obscenity exemption, also had 5 votes.
What is that?
172?
That's what's allowing them to teach sex.
Yeah, that'll get pouring out of schools if we.
It's the harmful materials of the law,
Okay.
penal code, and it says, there are only 2 exceptions. One is if you're married to a minor, you can give them what's considered harmful material. Harmful material described as that which excretes bodily fluids, sexual in nature, pure in nature. But if you're 18 and 17, that's the exception the current law says. And then it says, and then unless it's educational. So that's how it's getting into schools. There's the
It's
school saying,
education.
this is education.
So we're trying to
Get rid of that.
get rid of
Yeah.
that. So
They admit it's harmful. They admit
obscenity exemption is just a weird,
It's,
it's
Yeah.
misleading. Okay, all right, okay, I'm okay with that.
they're driving the,
Yeah.
So that was
If
4.
I understood what you
Yeah.
said, what we're looking for from this perspective is a broader vision that is not a hot topic, that brings Texas into, to more, law, to more reflect our values. Is that right?
Yeah, so the purpose of the top 10 that we're trying to do is we're looking at legislative priorities tends to be the things that are hot topics at the moment when we have convention. And so they're sometimes a little more transient, but I mean, they're all important though. So what we're trying to do with this committee is take the 10 items that will have the largest impact on the state that will benefit Republicans in the party or benefit, the people of Texas. Okay, so we're trying to do things that will have major strategic impact. And so that's our goal. And they may not be all that popular, they may not be sexy. I mean, the things that I put in there, government pensions and getting out of Medicaid, those aren't sexy things. They're things most people aren't thinking of. They're not hot topics. But those would have huge impacts on how the state operates, how our budget operates, and would help the party, I think, if we were to pass things like that. So
I would say that our top vote getter, founding documents in high school, is arguably the hot topic of this list.
well, it's the most popular one because people see that it has a far-reaching impact that would benefit all the citizens of Texas if they actually knew what the Constitution said.
are all 9 of us here in this committee?
Yes. 1, 2,
I
3,
would say
4,
with
5,
the 6 we
6,
have left,
7,
say maybe just
8.
consider everyone maybe pick one and advocate for it that they want.
All 8. Karen's not.
I'm not on the committee.
So the eight of us are.
If someone picks Israel or THSA, I think you pick a THSA. If Israel makes an offer, go my option. I won't choose as long as, if there's 7 of us here, can we all just pick the 6 remaining? Each one get what's important to them? Or advocate for it for 2 minutes. Each got 2 minutes to advocate for your.
Well, so if you guys want to stipulate that the ones that are not top, or the ones that have 5 votes or more are all in,
That's what I do.
you guys want to do that? Adolfo, you okay with that? Yeah, there's 4 of them.
And then there's 6 blanks.
So now we're voting for 6 out of the others.
Yeah, I think we all have.
So you're all good? Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because if we're all stipulating those.
Fill in the last 6, I agree.
Okay.
How we go about that is something.
And I would just suggest each pick one. You're pretty strong about one, and I'll go along with yours. You
Yeah.
THS, I'll go along with that as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And that way it's a group effort, and we all can advocate, like y'all did for, Kenya might have something very specific, I'm like, well, I hadn't thought about that, but if you feel strongly, I'll support him with that one.
I was gonna push for something, it'd be a prosecution election plan, but that seems to be.
That's there already.
pretty popular.
It's already in there, yeah, yeah,
For these next 6,
yeah,
I'm gonna go THSA then,
yeah.
which is,
The one, well, Matt's been pushing that for a long time, and I think there's a lot of good sound basis for doing that, because it really supports the whole medical freedom issue. We can't get that if we're not independent from the mandates of the federal government. So I would vote for that.
And your strongest medical one for 138?
What's interesting is if you're a tech,
137 is my strongest. Medical freedom, that's individual freedom. My second, that's 137, right? Is that right, Matt?
Earlier you said 138. Texas
137,
138 is Texas medical.
137 is medical freedom, and that's still on.
137 is my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, could you give us the ones in the six that we're considering right now?
Oh, the 6 that we're considering right now? Well, there's more than 6, right?
Six
So,
blanks.
so,
They're the 3 vote getters.
so
and the 2 vote
there's
getters.
15 that are still under consideration. We've got 4 that were top vote getters. So that means there's 11 left that we're trying to whittle down to 6. So I mean, I gave you the 2 groups that had 4 votes and that had 3 votes. Those are the ones you're trying to pick among the ones that had 4 votes and 3
So there's
votes.
11 top votes, there's a.
So it's one of the tops already.
Can we, is there,
Sorry, I sent you the wrong one.
how's everyone in Israel?
I'm including it.
Yes, Israel's on my list.
270.
Israel's not on mine. But
It's not on
it's not because I
mine
don't support it, but it's,
You have other
It's-
things.
I think there's others that I think are more closer to Texas that we can really influence. You know, Israel's a national, you know.
Yeah.
What about trade with
That's
China?
my view. I don't have Israel on my list, not because it's not important, because it's not really a local
You know,
issue.
the
Brandon
local
Grace thinks
stuff
it's
is, what is it?
You know, they passed that law a few years ago about if you don't do business with Israel, Texas won't do business with you. And then, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu, as you may know, invited Brandon over. And Brandon gave Benjamin Netanyahu the pen that had to sign the law. That's what I would do.
Doesn't Texas have the second largest Jewish population?
After New York, I think so.
New
But I
York
think
is
it-
number one, Texas is number two.
Yeah, that's after New York, yeah. And I think after recent events,
Yeah,
it
so
would be a
for us
bad
to
idea.
support Israel is actually
Again,
very important.
this is one for strategic, not for current
I don't
events.
disagree with you, but.
If you want to argue that, legislative priorities.
I mean, didn't we even make a resolution?
That's my look on it. And it's not that I'm unsympathetic. It's just, I'm trying to focus on what we can go and lobby
For us to go to.
over at the Capitol for to get done. And things we would do for Israel, all the things that are on that list, those are mostly national things. So, yeah, Adolfo?
These 3 things that are regarding illegal magnets, border funding, sanctuary cities. Would that category rise to the level of your perspective of most impact for all of Texas?
For me, yeah, because those are huge. But in terms of importance, I would put border security funding first.
In
And-
spite of everything that's already.
And magnet, of those 3 things that you list, I would say border security first, illegal magnet second, and sanctuary cities third.
I think we gotta talk about trade with China.
Hold on, let's finish this discussion, then Adolfo had a question. So that's my take on those 3, Gail. Adolfo,
Okay, thank you.
you had a question?
I was going to talk about trade with China.
Oh, okay. Ken, you talking about trade with China?
Well, the immigration border thing, one of the things that I would ask is, there are a lot of people advocating for that right now. Are we trying to take those things that are kind of down the list to advocate for?
So it's a hot topic.
Well, I mean,
A lot of people are advocating, close the border. A lot of people are advocating,
It's
that's
already a
true.
legislative priority, so does
I
that.
was just looking up the LP. Hold on.
I remember the mission of this committee was that those things are down the list that aren't so hot and burning.
I don't know if I were to that information. Border security is not burning, but, you know, so that's, I don't want.
And I agree.
We got.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
But it's already being
Fought by
handled.
other people.
Right,
So-
exactly.
On legislative priorities, secure the border and protect Texas was the 8th out of the 8 that they had. So it was like barely made the list last time. I'm looking at the report right here. So
We need to do
it's
this all over again after convention when we come up with our new priorities.
Yes.
It's always such a warm-up round.
which
But we're learning.
which brings
Yeah.
which brings me.
Here's 8,000 props. Go ahead.
Okay, which brings us to an important point, frankly, because we're doing this, and then we're about to go to convention, and we're going to create a whole new platform, and there's going to be all new legislative priorities. So, to the extent we're doing this, I was scratching my head the last couple weeks saying, what are we doing it for? We're not going to between now and our next meeting, and between now and convention, we're not going to be able to enact any of this stuff. So, what I've concluded. So what I've concluded is that what we're going to do is the ones that we identify as particularly important, when we come to platform committee, I'm going to work to try to save these 10 things to make sure that they stay in.
You gotta remember, he's the chair of the whole platform.
I'll be chair of platform committee again, if you didn't know, for the upcoming convention.
I think we should combine.
So I'm going to try to preserve these so that when we come out and we come back to our next meeting, yeah,
That's what I was
you be
thinking.
quiet. You be quiet.
And
So we'll be able to work on these coming down next. Now, there may be new things in the platform that we may want to add. So we will go through the exercise again.
Yeah.
But we'll try to look at, is there anything new that should displace one of the things that we've already all spent all
Or
this
has
time
one of
agreeing on?
these moved up to legislative priorities, therefore another committee's dealing with that issue, and we need to focus on something else.
Possibly, yeah. So that's kind of my thinking of that. And that's why I wanted to just go through this quickly, hopefully, and get these 10 nailed down, and then we can talk a little bit about convention.
We got 4.
But I think a great example,
Okay,
a
what?
great
yeah,
example is 256, 259, and 250. Those for a platform committee, those should be combined everywhere. All the border issues in one item.
And they may be, well, I don't know that all of them, but one of my goals on platform is to shrink the platform again. So we shrunk it from 337 down to 276, I think. And my target is 250 less, maybe even all the way as far down as 225 if I can get there, but that's a huge ask. And looking at the platform, I don't know if we're going to be able to get there because also we get a lot of new ideas coming in, and we may add some things, which would mean we'd have to take out more of what's in there now. So I don't know how we're going to go, but that's kind of where I'm going to be pushing the platform committee to go, is to make the platform more concise and more usable and more meaningful, and maybe not be quite as verbose on some of the, if you look at some of our planks and they're like excruciatingly detailed. I mean, they're very, very detailed. And there's times where you need it. I mean, it tends to be in either education or health and human services where we have those very, very detailed planks, because a lot of people are passionate about those issues and exactly how, we know how slippery the ledge can be, right? And if we just put in kind of a generality, then we may not achieve the goal of what we want. Yeah, Leslie's shaking her head saying, yeah, that's the problem with ledge. So we always have to weigh that when we're in platform about how we do things. So when you say, yeah, combine everything laid the border on one plank, maybe not. I mean, we'll see what we can do. And we did a lot of combination shortening last time, and so we'll take some things out. So anyway, that's kind of what we got coming up. Yep, okay, so trade with China, again, to me, more of a national issue, trade policy more of a national issue. I'm not sure that we're going to achieve a lot domestically being in Texas.
But we have like one of the
So,
biggest economies in the world, just in Texas.
yeah, it's 12th or 13th, I think.
Oh, I thought we were 7th or
National.
8th.
People don't understand the risk that we as Texas and we as a country have because of China. I mean,
It's true.
40 years ago, I had meetings with a bunch of engineers, and their biggest concern about, and I was dealing with investment in Mexico. 40 years ago, the concern was that all our major production was going overseas. And they were worried about major steel production, because if we ever have a war again, everybody says that's going to be high tech, and it will be. But you will still have to have troops on the ground, and you need to have the equipment in order to do that. We don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Because everything is offshore. steel producers are.
I mean, all you have to do is-
Today compared to what we were before, and we couldn't get there.
All you have to do is look at Afghanistan, that war. We were shooting $2 million rockets in the mountains, trying to kill a couple of guys hiding in caves. We didn't. Guys in caves hid in the caves, and then they came back out.
I would argue that's not trade in China, that is made in America. That's a different.
Yeah, that's a-
effort. That's a,
well-
bring industry back to Texas, that would be a worthy cause.
People need to understand why, and the risk, it's a risk to Texas and the United States. And I agree with you, we need to bring it back here, but people need to understand why we need to bring some of that, every industry.
Well-
There's a bike here, national security, why it needs to be.
We're getting into a little bit of economic policy, because the thing that you have to understand about that, while I agree with it nobly, is low cost wins. And that's the reason everything migrated to China, beginning in the 70s. And what I say is that no policy is good forever, it's perpetual or enduring. And so Kissinger's opening up to China in 72 was good at the time, but we overextended ourselves on that policy. We need to bring it back to America or to other friendly countries. But if we're going to bring it back to the U.S., we have to realize we've got an inflationary environment where the dollar is devaluing, but we also have higher embedded costs because of the heavy regulatory environment and heavy social net. And the fact that we're paying, that's why welfare is on our list. If we cut welfare, then we'll put more Americans back into the workforce, which will have an effect of decreasing labor costs a little bit. Labor costs become a little more manageable because of more people working, more people competing for jobs. But we're still probably never going to be countries like India and China, right? So that means that even if we desocialize the American economy, the only way we're ever going to be able to sustain U.S. production, U.S. manufacturing at a high level is going to be through high tariffs. You're going to have those two things. So, I mean, it's not as simple as saying we want to get out of China. Where do we go? Do we go to India? You know, because they're now the most populous country, so in theory they've got the lower cost of labor. Where do we go? I think we should come closer to the U.S. and go to South America. If we can flip Cuba, we should go to Cuba. That'd be perfect. They're right offshore. But that's kind of where
That's visionary.
geopolitically, well, here I am. But geopolitically, that's kind of where we need to go. So, but what does that have to do with our list? I mean,
I was
when it
gonna
comes
say,
to
what about the
China,
last two?
again, I can't, from China being on this list, I can't affect international trade policy and restructure the geopolitical landscape here.
Make US Steel great again.
So,
Let's get it.
yeah, should Nippon Steel be buying USS? I personally don't think so. You know, Japan's very much our partner, and I love them. They're far different than Korea or Vietnam or China, but still, they're not the U.S. So, my personal stump speech. But anyway, okay. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to vote for 6? I mean, we've already had a couple people turn in their top 10.
Thanks for the very eloquent speech there, okay? That helps us to refine our thinking and what does really affect Texas, and what, even if we look over 2 or 3 cycles of the legislature coming in, and we could get some of this done, it would affect Texas in such a major way that it would change the trajectory, okay?
Yeah,
And
that's
if
what
we
I want to
do
get to.
that, am I understanding this? I'm looking at the top ones that we've already chosen, and I think they all fit that
Yep.
very clearly. But when you get beyond those, it's less clear.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the way we voted, right? And I am wondering if we haven't found the ones we sure are supposed to find.
Well, we got to get the top 10. So we've
Why
only
do we
got
have to have
5.
10?
Because that's what we agreed to do. I mean, we can redefine it if you want, but 2 sessions ago, we agreed
What
to
do we got here? Were we all agreed on 6?
4, I think, because we're trying to
There's 4,
identify
and
that
then
6.
we were trying to add to the list,
Yeah,
and we didn't yet.
but
Well,
yeah, so we're in the process.
We talked about 137 and
Of course we did,
144,
right?
and we talked about
144, we pretty much were universal on, we didn't
Yeah,
add
so
that.
I think we could add, 137 is the medical freedom.
Okay.
We got 144.
So let's
I
just-
think some that were maybe not unanimous, but we've got consensus on that.
Okay, so let's,
And maybe that's where we ended.
let's,
We don't have to have 10.
No.
okay, let's just go through it again. So we got our top 4 vote getters from the first time, and we're gonna add, 137,
144.
hold on, 137, and then we're gonna add 144.
Right.
Is there another one?
Well, that was where we started with the
271.
271 was
But I got
Israel.
Israel.
That's Israel. I thought you said we weren't gonna add that.
You don't have to, but we can.
Well, there was disagreement.
There's some disagreement on that.
That's what we
There's a
started.
disagreement on
You better
China.
not say there's disagreement on Israel.
We need to
It's
discuss
that
that
I did
again,
it.
because I am against Israel.
I hear Steve Evans
Okay.
said that.
Hold on. Let me take the next one. Border security funding, build the wall. Okay,
That's my next.
when we're looking at the 3 that are in there, eliminate illegal magnets, border security funding, sanctuary cities. Those are the 3 that were on the list. They've made the first cut. But the way I look at border security is you can make all the other changes you want, but unless you have a physical barrier there and you actually close it, you're never going to stop the flow. It's kind of like, I always likened it to having a bucket that you're trying to fill with water, but there's holes in it. You have to plug the holes and create a solid bucket. Otherwise, you're going to continue to lose water as you try to fill a bucket. So kind of like, that's what I view the border. I mean, you can make whatever kind of rules you want, but people ignore the rules, they don't enforce the rule, blah, blah, blah. Until there's a physical barrier, you're not going to stop people from coming across the border.
But then
There's
the
too many
argument
attractions here.
Because
So,
that's already an LP really, and it should be in that, and
Yeah.
is that not something somebody else is already working on?
well, I would liken it to what you did with or what they did with election integrity, where it was a priority, but we also had a separate committee focused on it, so it was so important. So I would say building the wall is something that we should have as a priority. Because I just think that is such a huge game changer for Texas. We're spending billions of dollars. They give an estimate of how much it would cost to finish physically building the wall, and yet Democrats said that was too much money, and yet we're spending 20 times that per year in soft costs for all the people coming over. So it's a ridiculous argument.
Remains a top priority to feel pressurized to continue to fund it.
It's going to be the thing that flips the election coming up. I mean, it's
Elected, he's gonna take care of that wall.
God willing.
That's an election of border security, and the wall is only one step, and that's what concerns me. We're talking about this wall.
it is one step, but it's the most important first step.
It's not gonna stop there. They're already cutting down the existing wall that's there.
That's because there's nobody observing it or trying to do it.
That's why I'm saying that's one step. We need more than just that.
But
We
the
do.
verbiage of the funding, the verbiage of this line is not just a wall, but it's all the other soft costs that go with it, whether that's occupation, technology, security, etc. So it's not just the material.
We need to change, we need to change.
I have a question regarding this. If we all agree that this is very important. But are you saying that our legislators, Republican legislators, and the ones that are coming up, do not understand this and they still need consensus? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's, are they feeling pressure to put money towards it? Because you got a defined pot of money, how much of that is gonna go to border security versus,
What's the one?
paying for something else?
And what we've got in LP will not cover this? I'm sorry, what was the question?
So here's the
No, that's what it was,
language.
and
Oh,
we
they
don't
turned
think
it off.
that
Duplication
legislative
of
priorities is going to cover this.
What is this?
Border security funding.
This is an LP.
I agree with the idea of having it here to let everybody know that it's still critical, because I agree with the comment. That's the biggest election issue to date. Okay? And so
And that makes me say, and that's a hot topic, everybody's gonna be talking about it. We're looking at the ball picture.
And we need to be part of that to make sure people know we are extremely concerned.
Matt,
Yep.
what I'm seeing here is we've got we've discussed 6 things, 4 we all agreed on to begin with on the first round of voting.
Yep.
2 more issues nobody's got a problem with, 137, 144. And now we get to funding the border, we get to Israel, we get to all these other things.
There's some clashing.
And we're clashing.
Yep.
So I think the thing to do, given where we are, in fact, we're gonna have to repeat it, our
You wanna
very
cut it at
next
6?
meeting is settle on the 6th, vote on it, say this is where we stand, and next time we'll move on. 'Cause I don't
Anybody,
think we're gonna solve this
any
problem.
objection to cutting it at 6?
Well, the other thing is we can all just fill out our list, turn them into you, count them up and say, this is the vote we'll agree to. Because I have Israel on there, I've got right to try. I think right to try is important. And that strikes home personally in my own world. I'm gonna be a pretty big fan of 142.
So we have one objection to cutting it at 6.
Let
Anybody else?
everybody turn in a list
And then just
and
add
then
them
tell
up.
us what the top.
Okay, I've got 2 people that have already turned in lists. Who else has got their list ready?
You want the second go around?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a paper to put mine on, so.
I'm bronze.
I need to get a peg.
Use your paper.
Mine used to be the winning.
The winning bid, well, we shall see.
We shall see.
Are we supposed to wear our names on?
That's helpful. I
Yeah.
think I know everybody's handwriting, but maybe not. Because that's how I'm keeping track.
Well, see, Ken may be the sway vote this time.
No, my man. No, that's part of it. Generate the sympathy.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Just do it differently this time.
We got 2 in there.
I don't know, I think better than Moscow. My middle initials, so now I'm learning.
Oh, I don't have that. So you said that.
This is hard.
It
We also have to look at what we can do, what our abilities are, and what our passions are. I mean, medical freedom is my thing. I'm gonna be far more effective fighting medical freedom than I am Midland, not Moscow. Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
The title just is
I'll
so.
make sure I do. It's right for this one. It's 144.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, are we adjourned after we turn in our paper, or do we have more business?
I'm not adjourned yet. Let me add them up. You just have one.
Yep.
This is our last meeting. We need it to.
Don't ask me questions right now. Don't ask me questions right now.
You gotta appoint somebody at this committee for convention. I have no idea. All right. That's a somebody to elect one from my SD.
That's a tough one.
Oh my, Roman did it for a while. Oh, Roman the law. And, well, and the thing is, it is really wow. And I had Howard Nice, he said, never saw that. Now, I gotta get people from out here to go out that aren't as good, and I'm trying to get, include it, and I thought, by that time, Sean had already checked out, and he's still a veteran, he's 17, but he's an S50. And he said, do everything, and I need to run it back on and Sean was like a work on a puzzle, and but I'm really traffic.
gotta let the other
And I've got all these whole counties that make it no appointments. You've got to spread the vote around. So I had this really right now, and Fort Mickey. I'm not sure it's not the Experience is important on platform.
You've gotta let new people participate.
You've got to let, it's such a struggle, it's such a struggle. I think I'm gonna make Ron.
Matt, to make this fun, can you do like the old Dave Legend top
I
10 list?
have done it both ways.
No.
Yeah.
I don't have time, I don't have time to write the jokes.
Starting with number 10 is,
I'm going to be
we're gonna make this more fun.
I have done that before, and they're messed up. They don't.
You know, something like this, I can't, you've got to, it's a real experience. You don't want it. So I was gonna talk to Matt and see about how I looked at it.
I did one without experience, but I came up here and sat through a whole
Okay.
session
Okay.
and found out what it was.
Okay, other than our top 6,
Same difference.
Okay, here we go, here we go.
other than our top 6, we've already agreed on. We have Israel with 4 votes. And then the next 2 are border security funding, number 256, and right to try, number 142, with 3 votes each. Oh, wait, I didn't vote.
I'm sorry, how would we know whether you voted or not?
Voting is closed.
Yeah.
Voting is closed.
Voting is closed.
So,
We'll never know.
so here's what we'll do.
Right to try.
So we've got those 6, and we'll add those 3.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Here comes Ken.
oh, Ken, oh my God, again? That's twice.
Here you go.
All right, so now all right, I have to recount the votes.
Recalculate.
I have me
Yeah,
and
stand in
Ken
the
there.
corner or something.
Tell the reverse side.
Oh, reverse side. Oh my God, Ken, you killing me.
Okay, now we can watch it.
44 is right.
Okay. This
You
is
better get off your computer.
All right,
You'd already
You know,
said we're close.
She had a monitor.
50.
To anybody who's not on the computer, it was close.
No, no.
That's blood pressure.
We're gonna have an aneurysm.
Glad we
I need
have.
some medical freedom right
Oh,
now.
no, this is barely a warm-up for platform.
No, this is nothing like platform. Right, so-
Don't you, are you okay?
Okay, so that's Ken. All right, so where's me?
Yes. It's my first go around to do it. That's good.
How many folks were on the convention last year?
Well, 31, because one from each SD. And there were a couple who, you know, appointed themselves to SREC members. But it was an interesting.
Okay. All right, so the following 4 are going to be added. Israel, border security funding, both of those got 5 votes. Obscenity exemption and right to try, those both got 4 votes. And so that's going to be our top 9, and we're cutting it off. Without objection?
Good job, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection? What's that?
Okay, so which one is, I
So-
thought obscenity exemption was already on there.
I have it circled as a number.
Oh, you're right, it was. Okay, sorry, that was already on there.
Top 4.
That was already on there. Yep, so we have top 8. Because we're adding medical freedom, we're adding textile savings account 144, border security, Israel, and right to try.
Okay, so read the 8 that we've got, the numbers.
Okay, hold on.
Planks number,
19.
Hang on. Sure, okay. So it'll be right to try, 30. 111 founding documents. 137 medical freedom. Right? Right to try. Texas Health Savings Accounts.
which number is it?
Texas Health Savings Accounts 144.
144.
Obscenity exemption,
Is number,
172. We've got prosecuted election fraud, which is
Number-
226.
what?
226. Border security funding, number 256. And Israel, which is number 271. How many is that, Karen?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8.
Okay, do we get 111?
I've got 9.
Yes, you listed
Okay.
that.
Okay, I want to make sure.
I have 30, 111, 137.
Hold on, slow down. Okay,
Sorry.
30, yep.
I
111,
have
yep.
30, 111, 137,
Wait, 137,
37,
right, yep.
144,
142?
144.
We should have 142 and 144.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch 142.
142.
Then that's 9.
And 144,
Okay, 144, 172,
right,
226,
right,
256,
right.
and 271.
Yep, that's it. That's 9.
So that's 9.
So 250 is not in there.
That's right. That's 9.
Hey, can you just read the list one more?
Karen, your list.
Planks number 30, 111, 137, 142,